Let's get it going. First serve by Izzy Ashburn. She had a nice night serving the other night. Dropping it right into the campfire is Landfair.
Wisconsin did what they wanted to do initially, getting Minnesota out of system, but they need to be ready for the off speed by the Minnesota attackers. They'll use those often throughout this match.
Melanie Schaffmaster's serve goes right at Bramschreiber. The middles, as you said, going to be impactful today.
Yes, Devin Robinson will get the ball a ton, and she finds different angles and different areas of the court to go after. She sees that block shifting, and she's able to hit around it. She sees the court so well.
Not many people can hit the 1, 2, 3 tempo ball like Robinson can. Pass is perfect, options available. The set's a little bit off. Outside. Frank the Tank, we were calling her the other day, Sarah Franklin.
She is a tank. Sarah Franklin had a huge match against Nebraska with 21 kills, and I can expect that again tonight. She sees the block so well, and there was a huge space in the line, so she went after it.
Trouble pass, free ball. To the middle, quick. The speed of the offense, Carter Booth. Booth missed a few games with an undisclosed illness. Good to have her back.
Here's Minnesota getting the ball to her middles early on in this match. Like we talked about, they've got a fast offense, and if they can find the middles early, it's going to make it super challenging for the Wisconsin block.
And I'm going to ask you as we go forward, is that set high enough? That one was the one to Carter Booth. Tell me about this one first, though. What made it work?
That was great. That allowed Danielle to be able to contact that ball at a high point. You never want to see the middle's elbow dropping, because then you know they're not able to hit over that block and hit with power.
Chanel Bramschreiber serving now. She sat out the first half of the season due to an NCAA ruling. When she was coming from Baylor, down the line. Trying to use it, unable to. Point, Badgers.
Early on in this match, we've seen Landfair first swing was a roll shot, and now she was trying to do a throw shot. So that tells me that she's looking to go off speed, and Wisconsin needs to be prepared for that.
Bramschreiber again down the line. From the right side, Robinson, who had a lot of line the other day, goes cross. Bramschreiber setting. What a dig. Gophers getting everything up. Here's Landfair. Changes pace. Beat around it by Devin. Same shot that Landfair tried to lose last time, didn't work. Here's a free ball. Back, unloaded. And I'm looking at the call, I think it was a net violation on Wisconsin.
That was a great defensive battle, and you can see Kelly Sheffield is not happy with that call. But regardless, I think Wenis's swing landed end bounds.
Yep, and I think it was 10 fingers up. I think she was saying that
Devin Robinson was in the net there.
Yeah, that she followed through on it.
Wenis came in for that inside set there. She was switching up which attack she was running.
Yeah, it wasn't Devin Robinson, but it was very much a Wisconsin net. Dropping it. Franklin did a really nice job of this the other day, mixing up speeds.
She's so successful at that because she sells it so well. She approaches into that ball so aggressively, and it looks like she's going to attack it, but then at the last second, she makes that adjustment. That's the key to having success with roll shots.
MJ Hamill now serving and setting in the 6-2 offense for the Badgers. Smrek up front. Landfair, and again, it's picked up well. Ball down, point Badgers.
Landfair's got a huge arm, and with defending her, it's all about being in the right position and being stopped, and that's exactly what Yulia Orzel was doing there. She was stopped and able to make a move forward to get that ball up for a perfect dig.
Caroline Crawford, meanwhile, protecting the net. Cross court again. They are running it a bunch. What's the challenge for Crawford?
Crawford's going to need a... Minnesota's offense is so tricky because it's so fast to the pin, so she's going to need to take an aggressive first step and make sure she's getting somewhere with that first step. And that time, there was a seam, and Winnes was able to go right through it.
Winnes serve to the center of the court. Over, Bramshacker picks it up. Frank the Tank. Sarah Franklin said she likes the nickname, by the way.
And I will keep calling her that. Another kill for Frank the Tank early on, and this time she's mixing up her shot and she's going off the blocker's hands, which is a challenging swing, but it's really all about the arm swing.
Sarah Franklin getting a break now, rotating out. Impact transfer from Michigan State. Liz Grigorski, redshirt junior, serving. Got 3 across, receiving for Minnesota. Bramshacker already more digs in this match than she's had all season. And another good put away on the cross court.
Crawford does a great job there, holding the middle, and so that Yulia Orzel has a huge seam, and she just goes right after it. Although the middles aren't always getting set, it's their ability to hold the opposing middle blocker to give their pin hitters seams.
8-4 Badgers lead in set number 1. Grigorski behind the service line again. Hammered with authority from Nia Gross.
It looks like Wisconsin's middles are a little bit jumpy early on. I think they're expecting those balls to be sent to the outside, which is just giving those pin hitters or the slide attack so many options on that slide or hook.
Yep, and a one-on-one. It's tough when you're trying to defend Nia Gross. Here's Taylor Landfair's serve to the sideline. It's going to be a one pass. This is your option. Gross again. This time, big heavy swing was a no-go.
Gross looks like she came down too far on that swing there, which is why it ended in the net. You could see her following through too early, which didn't allow her to get the ball over that blocker, even over that net.
Caroline Crawford, transfer from Kansas, the junior, serves and drops it right in front of Taylor Landfair. The fans love it.
That was just a fantastic serve. It drops out of nowhere. That's a hard ball to read, and that'll get that team an ace.
Well, that's enough for Hugh McCutcheon. He calls a timeout. Inside the field house in Madison, Wisconsin, Badgers first set doubling up the Gophers 10-5. Crawford serve. She just dropped an ace at Landfair. Out of the timeout. Wooker unloads. Love the sound of that one. Here's CeCe McGraw. Came right back, Carter Booth defending the net. Wooker again changes her pace. And how does that affect the block?
The block needs to make sure they're strong and firm with their hands. As you can see here, Danielle Hart's hands are not going to be pushed all the way over the net, which allows that.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Rachel Kilkelly serving for Minnesota. She's had 7 digs so far today, Kilkelly has. It's going to go right back to Franklin again. Crawford keeping an eye on that net.
There's Crawford just showing her all-around skill in the game. That's a fast, chaotic play, but she's up there. And I think something that's kind of underestimated is how hard it is to stay out of the net when that ball's so tight to the net. It's a fast play going back and forth, but she does a great job controlling her body and being able to place that ball in a spot where Minnesota wasn't.
Hamill serve, keeping it on Landfair. Smrek patient.
Fantastic serve by Hamill. And Wisconsin is going after Landfair a ton right now. And something about Minnesota is they're not often going to set Landfair out of the pass to attack situation.
Let's see, because she passed here. Well, it's out of system, so that's your option. Bramschreiber under it. It hits the scoreboard as it crosses the net. Automatically illegal. Point, Minnesota.
Powerful swing by Landfair. And again, that's a great example of her not letting that pass affect the rest of the play. She was out of system, but she was still able to get her feet to the ball and recover with a great swing.
Landfair, of course, a 2020 All-American, was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. Booth back in. Cannot ignore Carter Booth. Franklin ripping open the seam for kill number 12.
It's important to highlight how well Wisconsin is doing defending Landfair. That's allowing them to run their offense and get their attackers going.
Again, Franklin gets a little bit of a rest as Jocelyn Boyer comes in to serve. She's been doing a nice job defending as well. Boyer has had limited time this season. Into the net as she tries that flat serve.
That's the hard balance. You don't want to miss the serves in the net, but you can tell the intent. She's trying to get that ball just over the tape. But again, with the net balls, the other team doesn't have to think about it at all. It's completely a free point.
Someone described it to me as, if you're going to pull a grenade, at least throw it over the wall.
That's a great description.
The dig was out, point Minnesota.
That's the third time we've seen Bramschreiber dig that ball over the net and out of bounds. I'd like to see her find a way to cushion that ball in a little bit more, to control it. You don't have to get it perfectly up to the net. With defense, you're just trying to get that ball high and honestly, maybe like 10 feet off the net.
Orzal measuring up Booth this time, going over the top. Full swing. Love Winnis's attitude. Minnesota shooting cannons. Up by Bramschreiber, unconscious. What's the conversion? Landfair rejected by the block, but the defense picks it up even more. Longest rally we have seen. Back to Orzal, and it is the block of Minnesota, the 9th one of the day to end the rally. Winnis will always take a big crack at it. Left hand, again, going back to early connection. MJ Hamill to Orzal. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, all tips in that
rally. Both teams there were waiting for their opportunity to attack, and for Wisconsin it never came, but Orzal was able to find the open spot on the tip. I love how she's going after Landfair, because Landfair is Minnesota's best attacker, and she's taking her out of that offense by tipping that ball short in front of her.
Back to Booth, a little bit of a trap. Hamill out to Orzal. Going for hands and did not get them.
That set looked a little bit underset for Orzal, and although that looked like a very bad miss by Orzal, she had the intent of going off hands, which was the right idea in a situation like that.
They're keeping the ball on Franklin in the serve receive. Now a couple of unforced errors by Wisconsin, and Minnesota +2 in a must-win third set. Schmreck asking for a touch, no dice. 3 in a row, unforced errors.
And this swing. Smirk just doesn't do a great job following through. You can see her hand remains high, and she's not finishing her arm swing, which is why that ball goes sailing out.
A 4-0 run for Minnesota.
That's a great serve by Landfair. When you're in this situation and you're starting to get the momentum on your side, you want to continue to put service pressure behind that serve in order to continue getting Wisconsin out of system.
No timeout called by Sheffield. Now tipping when you know they're going to hit back. And they do. What a run by Minnesota. And that's enough for Kelly Sheffield. He calls a timeout after a 5-0 Minnesota scoring run.
Minnesota is just playing cleaner right now, and Landfair is starting to come alive. Her hitting percentage might not show it, but she's taking a ton of attempts, and she's managing and getting Wisconsin out of system, which is causing them to make errors on the return.
33 swings so far for Landfair. It's a lot. And the defense digging balls for Minnesota. That ends the streak, but the damage has been done by the Gophers.
Wisconsin gets lucky with that one on the Gopher attack era. Now we've got Ashburn and Robinson coming in who will make a difference, I believe.
Yeah, Izzy Ashburn has been feeding Robinson a lot in this set. Robinson, 14 swings, 5 kills, has a nice percentage, but maybe get her going a little more. And the defense just kind of stopped.
We're seeing both teams mix in a ton of off speeds right now. They're trying to keep those defenders on their toes. Watch how Orzel took a step back there before moving forward, which didn't allow her to get to that ball.
Middle attack, a complete rip from Devin Robinson.
Notice how Ashburn enters the game and she finds a way to get those middles involved earlier. And that middle attack immediately shows success.
How does that change in Minnesota's block going forward?
With Ashburn in, she's switching things up more, which is not allowing the Minnesota block to have huge setups on the outside like they've been doing.
Big time block by Wisconsin and an answer back.
Danielle Hart does such a great job there. Knowing that Shaftmaster is wanting to go to the outside, she takes a positive first step and is able to close that block. That's a big wall to get past.
Behind, picked up by Bramschreiber, read it all the way. Franklin, yet again, Sarah Franklin is reliable.
And that's what you want. Bramschreiber read that tip perfectly, was able to get that ball nice and high, and Ashburn had three options. With all these off speeds, both teams need to find ways to make the other team pay.
Sarah Franklin with another kill. 7th time Franklin has posted at least 12 kills in a match. Landfair changing the conversation by unloading. What has allowed her, do you think, or what has woken her up?
They're getting her the ball a ton in this back row scenario. And Erica Davis does a great job going in for that A, which allows Landfair to come around for that B, which really confuses the flow of Wisconsin's block.
With authority, the answer from Wisconsin immediate.
And there's a big seam in that block, which allows Robinson to have so many options with where she wants to swing. And that comes from Izzy Ashburn's ability to come into this match and switch up who she's setting immediately.
Nebraska never made Robinson hit cross the other day. She was hitting line. Minnesota came in and said, you do anything but line.
Exactly, and Devin Robinson did a good job noticing that and making adjustments to her game. And that's one of the most important parts at this level, is making adjustments to things you're doing.
Gophers again pounding away. They're hitting 250 in this set, much improved from the priors. Off the net. that one back in her lap. Erica Davis, a transfer from Ohio State, playing with a lot of emotion.
She's been making huge impacts when she comes into the game. And right there, Franklin's out of system. She's falling backwards, and that's where the block needs to stay disciplined and push their hands over. And that's exactly what they did there for that point.
Big dig. Schreiber has a big one, but it's right in the wheelhouse of Erica Davis. Serve, keeping it on Franklin. It's going to use the middle. Block Wisconsin. It ends the 3-0 run.
That's a good disciplined block by Wisconsin. Minnesota's attacker was falling backwards, and that could have easily been a tool if one of the Wisconsin blockers weren't intentful with pushing their hands and holding that block up as long as they could.
Landfair looking to wipe it off. Doesn't get it. They're saying to Hugh McCutcheon, absolutely. Here's where you use the challenge.
It's good of Hugh McCutcheon to challenge this because you can see her hand go back.
Right.
But you can't, the ref can't look at the TV broadcast.
Right, exactly. Passes there, outside. And a net violation. 20 points for the Gophers.
Yes, you can see CeCe Crawford's right arm come down on that net there.
Orzal pass. Cross court set into that big block, waiting for it. Minnesota has started to roll.
This has been a complete turn in momentum. That ball, Orzal pass, took Hamill way back, which again caused her to set that ball a little bit inside, which doesn't allow a ton of options for Franklin when she's attacking. 11
blocks for Minnesota. Another scoring run, another 3-0 scoring run. Attacks from the middle working well for Wisconsin.
I agree with you. You set the middles and they're able to make it work, especially with the disruption it causes for the block.
77 swings for the Wisconsin outsides versus 21 for their middles. Boyer, trouble. Again, Landfair just goes hard at it.
There's chaos on the Minnesota side, but Landfair calms everything down and finds a way to put that ball away.
Good things happen when you're aggressive.
Absolutely. You don't want to be timid because oftentimes when you're timid, you either go into the net or into the block. You still want to have an aggressive mindset every single time you're swinging.
That's aggressive and a big dig. Orzal's got to change it this time. He's back again, the cover. And then trying to hit high hands. That's the pressure from Minnesota.
Absolutely. Minnesota is putting pressure behind the service line, but they're also doing such a great job with their block. Continuously putting four hands in front of Orzal and not allowing her many options with where she wants to swing.
Schreiber on the money. Depths cross court. We all know it's going outside. And a net violation against Minnesota as Orzal found a way to get it over and avoid that block.
Orzal's finding success when she's going right over that block and making Landfair defend. But we've also seen her struggle sometimes with getting that block over Booth.
Crawford serve down the line, perfect pass. Setting up Landfair. It is set point Minnesota. It was a must-win set 3, and they have responded.
Lanford knows there's a middle back row, and she goes after her for that easy kill. That's a smart heads-up play.
Set point. Back to Crawford. Or Franklin, excuse me. And that'll do it, Minnesota. Set 4 now to get underway. They start with Taylor Landfair serving. Orzal pass. Returning to the block of Booth.
Keep your eye on how Booth does such a great job holding until that ball is set. And once she knows that ball's going to the middle, she makes a controlled block jump move to get in front of Robinson's swing.
Orzal again, and it is Booth again having a touch. Misconnection. Opportunity for the Badgers. Takes advantage of it with a grab.
Devin Robinson finds that inside line, and there is nobody there. She uses her arms to get so high into the air, and she's got anywhere she wants to swing.
How do you solve a problem like Carter Booth? She's a problem in the middle four.
She absolutely is a problem. She's a force up there. And for Wisconsin, you need to pass and defend better to allow the setters to have 3 options, because when she knows where the ball's going, she's in front of it, and she is putting the ball back in their face.
Robinson with power. Wisconsin might get a little lucky on that block there.
Kind of looks like it held in Danielle Hart's arms, but she remained strong up there and was able to force that ball back. Let's see it. It looks like it might have touched both Robinson and Danielle Hart. That's a duo tandem block.
Little tape. Solo block by Hart.
Hart sees Booth getting her blocks, and she says, I want some of those too, and she does that. 2 in a row for her.
Danielle Hart, only 11 months post ACL. Moving, contributing to this team, and that time just changed by McKenna Wooker. She's been a little bit quiet in the 3rd set. They haven't been using her as much. She's effective when they get it to her.
They haven't been using her, and I think that's because they're really getting the ball to their middles and to their right side. So when she does get set, she finds a way to score, and it's going to keep Wisconsin on their toes.
Great set. A phenomenal set by MJ Hamill.
It was Izzy Ashburn. And Ashburn does such a great job of controlling the balls that are passed tight to the net. She gets up there and is able to control her body and still put good balls out of it.
Passes on money. Landfair on the attack line. She's trying to attack that from the back row. Second time she's been called for that tonight.
Second time, and sometimes it's not all the attacker's fault. In our gym at Wisconsin, when I played there, we'd always focus on having our players around us, letting us know if we're good or if we should stay on the ground.
Net violation now against Wisconsin. Some unforced errors both ways. Wearing a checkered shirt there, just came down with everything. Working Robinson quite a bit this set. Gramshutter put her helmet on and got there. Back to the right side, nobody there to pick it up. Who should have gotten that ball, or what position?
That was Robinson's responsibility there. Wisconsin has been blocking a line on Wenis all night, so as an off blocker, you need to be prepared to come under for those tips.
to Robinson. She gives it right back. I see you and I raise you one.
Smart placement by Robinson. We've just seen her putting so much pace behind her swings, and that time she does a great job selling that tip, and it falls. I think she was reminded while she was diving for the tip before.
Yes. Pain is a great teacher. Off the block. Ramscheiber puts it right at the net. Sharp, too sharp, ball's out.
I talk a lot about how volleyball's a domino effect, and that play started with that tip, which took Wooker out and forced Schaffmaster to go to the outside end. There was a huge block up there, which made her have to go for that underneath shot, which was just barely out.
Down the line serve, good pass.
Wisconsin knows that Minnesota is going to get the ball to Landfair, even when she's in back row. So they do a great job holding and getting in on that block to not allow her to score.
Badgers doubling up the Gophers on the score, 8-4. Outside powered through, picked up by Orzol, outside to Franklin. Finding floor is Sarah Franklin, 14 kills today. Try to get Wisconsin secure at this top of the conference. Nebraska, Ohio State, and Wisconsin all 10-1 in the Big Ten as we head into November. No touch, and everybody on Minnesota's side is saying, use the challenge. Let's take a look.
With some of these games where they're not able to improve on the little things they're wanting to.
Call is in, and it stands. A 5-0 scoring run for Wisconsin. Looking to continue it. And it ends. And now it's time for Minnesota to go to work.
Erica Davis has earned Schaffmaster's trust. We see Schaffmaster doesn't go to her middles a ton when she's off the net or somewhat out of system. That time she forced it to Davis, and Davis was able to get the kill for her team.
Pass is perfect. Landfair out of system. Ramscheiber, oh dear, that's a tough one. Smart play by Franklin to just recycle it. And too much. Kill Minnesota as they begin the climb back.
It's a long rally, and they find Landfair to go for that deep cross to end the play. And then out of serve receive, we saw Wisconsin utilize a double quick. It was Smrek, Crawford, and Franklin all coming in front of the setter. So I'm interested to see if they're going to try that again.
Franklin off the block and out. Sarah Franklin closing in on 50 swings for the night.
Smart of Franklin to go high into those blockers' hands. She's got 50 swings, and so much of that is because she manages the swings, and when she knows she can't take a huge swing, she recycles it or puts it on somebody on Minnesota's defense to get them out of system. She keeps the play going until she's able to power through.
Franklin comes back in. Will Minnesota continue to serve her? We'll see.
They've been getting the ball to Orzol a little bit more throughout these last couple sets, and Orzol's also doing a great job handling the service pressure.
McGee served this time to Franklin. Orzol tries a jelly roll, but it's picked up. Oh dear, that's the worst place to put it, right in the hands of Carter Booth.
Orgeal gets Minnesota out of system completely, and Landfair is forced to put in an easy ball, and Wisconsin needs to make them pay for that. They need to find a way to get that ball perfect and able to run their offense out of it.
Six swings, 6 errors. 6 kills, excuse me, 6 errors.
She laid that up nice and high and allowed Anna Smark to just go to work, and that's exactly what she did. Great connection between those two right there.
Crawford gets a little help from the tape. Ace. Third ace of the day for Caroline Crawford.
Crawford is having so much success with that drop serve, and I am honestly a little bit surprised that Minnesota has not picked up on that. That's what she's trying to do, and maybe step their passing pattern up a little bit.
Threading the needle to Carter Booth. Under the net. Under the net too much that she made contact with the other players.
Interesting, it looked like Orgeal's hand was the part that was the most under the net, that was completely on the other side of the white line.
Perhaps so. It was. Great call, Grace. A cannon from the back row.
We have not seen Wisconsin utilize that back row attack a ton throughout this match, but Sarah Franklin was in rhythm with her approach, and Hamill did a great job getting her the ball. Great thumb down swing and angling that ball to that 5-6 alleyway.
Izzy Ashburn serve. Cross, and just as you called it earlier, where does she dump?
Where the ball was served to.
That's fascinating. It's a really good information from you. Let's take a look at it again.
Wisconsin serves to zone 1, and Schaffmaster comes around with that ball and brings it back to Wisconsin zone 1. Just a little bit shorter.
Arzal this time, does she get hands? She does. It took a little while to measure that up. How high are Booth's hands?
Booth is up high, and I love how Orgeal switches up the pace of her swing right now, because I think if she would have gone and tried to power through, Booth would have been there, but by her switching up the pace, it allowed for her to get over that block.
Back to Booth again. And Bramschreiber was coming up on it.
That's a miscommunication. Sometimes it's blockers. It's hard because when you see a tip, you're one of the first people to know it's being tipped, and you want to come down and play that ball. But the libero, Bramschreiber, was right there behind them, and that's just got to be a communication between the two of them.
Also, we have seen Minnesota go to their middles a bit more here. Robinson. Fire from Devin Robinson on the right side.
Robinson is finding success on that line again. She was swinging a ton cross. Minnesota started to change that block to get her cross, and she's making an adjustment to counter their adjustment and finding success on the line.
Back outside to Franklin. Recycles it off that block. Back to Robinson. Looking at what they're giving her. Free ball. Not the prettiest free ball play I've seen.
Not the prettiest free ball play, but with volleyball, you got to have a short memory, and that's exactly what Robinson did. She might have messed up the free ball pass a little bit, but she was able to finish that play with her swing.
You know what she did with that free ball pass? She ensured it was coming back to her.
Exactly. That's sometimes what attackers do, and the fans don't know it's intentional, but...
Just to give you an idea of the wear and tear, Landfair on the other side of the net, 47 swings. Minnesota hitting below 100 in this set. Trouble. Landfair puts up a nice ball. That's tough. There's really no way to take care of it, but somehow, I need to see that again to know what happened.
But someone looked like magic. Franklin was on her feet on the ground.
Oh, wow.
I think that comes down to Franklin being the last person to touch that ball. She was able to push it back while Schaffmaster was coming down from her jump. Maybe a little bit lucky there, but
sometimes better to be lucky than good. You never know. Answered back, though, quickly with a pounding kill, ending the 3-0 Wisconsin run.
Smart swing by Wooker. She gets her feet to that ball and goes to that deep corner, which just gives that team a lot of success.
Perfect pass. Options available. They go to Robinson. And Schaffmaster's running that middle more in this set than we have seen.
And that's so much because Erica Davis is making herself available, and she's proving that she can make good things happen with the ball when she has it. She sees the seam, goes after it high, and is able to get the kill.
Erica Davis, 5 kills with just 2 errors, hitting .375. Pass is good. They answer back with the middle, but it's picked up. Free ball. Again, it's Robinson. To the middle. Davis is fired up. She has come in with emotion in this match.
I completely agree. She's not just making plays happen, but she's firing her team up and trying to raise the level of energy on her side of the net so that people can become fired up and play along with her.
The dig by CeCe McGraw. Franklin keeping this in play. Can Minnesota put it away? They get the touch, and it is a Minnesota point as the Badgers are watching their lead evaporate.
Franklin had a huge seam in that block, and that is because Erica Davis has established herself.
Trouble play. Block is waiting for it. Stab. Landfair rolls. It's up. With authority, the emotional leader of this team right now, the heartbeat, Erica Davis. 7 service aces in this match, and it's the 8th time they've had 7 or more this season. They've won all their matches with that kind of serving pressure.
No time changing the momentum in this match. Sees the block, stays high with her swing, and is able to power through those defenders.
38 total kills in her last 2 matches. That's the most in any 2 matches this season, and they came at the right time, Nebraska and Minnesota.
Thinking next time I need to get up and try to hold longer with firmer hands. They were coming down as Orgel was swinging it, so the timing was a little bit off.
Run in the middle again because when she's hot, find her, and Erica Davis is definitely hot.
Erica Davis wants the ball, and she is going to find a way to get that ball down on Wisconsin side. Schaffmaster is trusting her and getting her the ball in perfect situations and also not so perfect situations.
So Erica Davis now has rotated out. Carter Booth in back up front, and with her she brings the wall. Free ball. Graham Schreiber said, I got this. All options available. That's a big one because Daniel holding that block.
Absolutely. Everybody was approaching so aggressively into that swing, and the block had to hold, which caused a huge seam, and Orzel got the kill for Wisconsin. Staying high and just going off when it's his hands.
Crawford's serve. Booth is available, and they want to feed her. Schaffmaster has become fixated on these middles. They are scoring for her.
Absolutely, and we talked about how Erica Davis was huge, but Booth is playing just as amazingly as she is, and I'm impressed with the way that Schaffmaster is finding them each time.
From the backcourt, and it's an attack line violation.
I have seen more of these attack line violations in this match than I think I have seen all season.
And backcourt attacker over the top. Hugh McCutcheon cannot believe it.
I think Hugh McCutcheon is arguing that that ball was in the plane, which means it would be fair game for Carter Booth to go after it.
Let's take a look. Thoughts again?
I think it looks like it might be in the plane there, which would allow Booth to do that.
Not a reviewable play, for people wondering. So the match carries on. Izzy Ashburn's serve. They go to Booth again. And with good reason, both Booth and Davis have been the stabilizing factors for Minnesota as of late.
Absolutely, they're keeping Minnesota in this game. They're not giving up, and they want the ball every single time right now.
Outside. Orgeron with the kill. Guess what? It's match point in the field house. Can Wisconsin take down two ranked opponents in the same week? They've already toppled #1 Nebraska. Match point versus Minnesota.
This has been a huge week for Wisconsin, and they are playing some great volleyball right now. And I think that comes from their service pressure, but also we've seen their connection with the setters improve as the season has gone on.
Outside. Tip, it's pancaked up. Free ball to the Gophers. Hammered down, that's a not so fast from McKenna Wooker.
Wooker sees the seam, and she goes straight through that seam with power.
It remains match point in the field house. To Sarah Franklin, back to Robinson. It's long.
An unlikely error from Robinson. She wanted it. You can tell she wanted to close that game out, this game out with that swing.
Third match point, Wisconsin. Pass from Sarah Franklin back to Robinson. And another big block from Minnesota.
It looks like Robinson might have tooled the block, but the block actually came down and touched Robinson on its way out.
Right shoulder. Wisconsin, match point #4. CeCe McGraw, Minnesota serving. Perfect pass. Back to Devin Robinson. Big block. Gonna have to swing again. To the middle. A second time, and Wisconsin has done it. The Badgers have taken down two top 10 opponents in the week. Down goes Minnesota just a few days after they took down #1 Nebraska.